I'm actually very excited to announce that I got a CYBVR head strap for my Quest 3 just randomly from a drawing in a Facebook group. I'm pretty active in a couple of the Quest 3 and Quest 2 groups on Facebook as well as on Reddit. So I'll take this as karma in lieu of actual Reddit karma. Either way, shout out to them for sending this over to me. It's one of those rare instances where you get something for free and you can be unbiased. But I'm going to do my best to compare it against the other head straps I've used based on the actual features and the price that you'd buy it at on Amazon. Currently it looks like it's on sale in some capacity for 35 bucks, although list price seems to be 50, although I do remember seeing it for 35 bucks a few weeks ago, so I don't know which is the most common price you'll see. I've actually been sitting on this review for a little while because I wanted to utilize it in a few different use cases before I made an actual judgment. Although I really liked my CYBVR M3, I feel like I was a little rushed to judgment in terms of comfort because over time I think I've learned that halo straps aren't the best for me. Although I stand by my review, I wanted to make sure and not repeat my mistake. But without further ado, this is a head strap that does include a battery. So I have a CYBVR M3 battery and the Cyber battery, and I have them together side by side. So that gives you a comparison of both their size and really the compactness and the ergonomics. Now the one main difference is that I think CYBVR has the clear, better attachment method versus this clip on the CyberVR. You actually have the magnets that lock it into place, making quick change probably a tad bit easier, but I mean you get what you pay for when you're paying half as much for a strap. So in general, I would say it's a little less bulky compared to the M3, which I have on my headset at the moment just to give a comparison. In the past, I've bounced between the M3 and the default strap depending on what I'm doing and how I'm feeling from a given day. It really comes down to ergonomics for the exact moment. Now for those that don't know just by looking, this is an Elite style strap, so it does fall close in line to how the Elite strap from Meta itself works. It snaps on each earpiece, if you want to call it that, over those little arms. And then it has a strap that comes across from the center and connects to the flat little strap inlet on the facial interface, or right above the facial interface. One thing I like about this is the cradling cushion, though, makes it feel a little closer in line to the CYBVR M3, but while staying an Elite style strap. I'd say they're pretty close in line for comfort on this particular area, and I think it's better than just using straps and a back end cushion. Having the cushion that goes across the top of your head really makes a difference. It's definitely some kind of leatherette. I'm not sure on the long-term quality of the material. I've been using it for a few weeks, and I haven't noticed any degradation, but, mileage may vary. Another small detail that you got to consider when you're this far different on price points is it just runs a wire from your USB-C port on the headset to the battery. So there is a little ducting clip on the side, but it's not running straight into the head strap and kind of really carefully routed. Like you do have to deal with the cable management yourself. At least they provide that clip though. And I made comments about the way the battery attaches. Like it doesn't have power coming out the bottom, so you only have the one plug, which is fine in this situation. But if you look, I feel like the clip kind of just barely clicks on there. So a lot of thrashing, I maybe feel some movement. I haven't really noticed it when wearing it, but it's something I've been wary of. Imitation really is the most sincere form of flattery, as you can tell by the 4 LEDs and the button on the battery pack. Now, this wouldn't be much of a head strap review if I don't actually test it out, right? Of course, I've actually done a lot of off-screen testing, but that's not the same as getting to see it firsthand. So I'm going to throw on some Beat Saber first, just to kind of test when you're moving around how much it actually scoots. Of course, the more you sweat and the more you move around, you might start to see some slippage, but overall it doesn't move that much. It really does feel like it stays on your head and in position pretty good. On occasion, I do find myself readjusting it between matches or something, but it's not coming loose or slipping enough that I think it usually needs urgent attention. I do think for my needs, it does seem like it holds position a little better than a Halo-style strap. I do notice a little bit of wobble on the Halo-style straps when I start sweating, which I didn't experience here. To do another example, I figured I'd throw on some Blade and Sorcery. Sorry for those that don't enjoy a little bit of gore, but I think that there is something about hand-to-hand combat and physics games like this, Boneworks, or things like Battle Talent, where you really do start to get moving around quickly. Thrill of the Fight probably would have been a good example for me to do also. And this is one of those games I really do work up a sweat during, because if you set this to endless, it can be pretty challenging, right? So I think it's a good example where you do work up a lot of sweat, and it does move around a little bit over time, but it really did stay in place for most of the fight. I didn't end up finding a situation where I had to pause or anything. Although I would be on the lookout for some obstacles. In the end, I do think, now that I've tested this thing out, I wouldn't have any problem at all buying it at the price point that's listed at. I really do think the value proposition is there with this head strap. And now I could finally say I have a well-rounded collection of head straps for my Quest 3. Like with all my other reviews, I really hope this has been informative, and feel free to ask any questions in the comments. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.